Hey, what is up, everybody? It's been a while. Dirty
Yes, it
Hand.
has. DZAN, what is going on? People, today is Wednesday, November 2nd, but for you, it is Friday the 4th. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can't tell, I'm a little nasally today. I am a little under the weather, but nevertheless, we're going to fucking
It's cold in Albuquerque.
It is. It's fucking cold here, guys. All right.
I'm not in Detroit anymore. I can say that.
Look, there's a lot to talk about, guys. We're going to comb over some shit that happened over the last month and just kind of let that sit there. We'll just let that be. That's old news. That's already
Old
done.
news.
Yeah. But what I do want to talk about first things first is let's talk a little bit about football. Let's talk a little bit about football. Yeah.
Of course, he wants to talk about football.
Now look,
He never wants to talk about football.
Now hold on. I know both of our boys aren't doing so good.
Yours is.
Mine's doing all right. Okay, listen, I'm in the
Yours
best
is
division.
killing it. What are you talking about?
I'm in the best division of the entire league.
Yeah,
okay,
there are people literally picking them to go to the Super Bowl now.
They are, but I can't be one of those Cowboy fans because that is a stereotype that I have been for far too long, and I'm going to break that cycle. I said at the beginning, I said at the beginning, we're going to the Super Bowl. You just wait. We're going to the Super Bowl. And now that we're getting closer to playoffs and shit's getting a little real, I get a little scared.
I'm
also
what you're doing. I do the same thing. Everybody does this though, because if your team sucks, like being a Steelers fan right now, we're one of the worst teams in the fucking league. When somebody talks about one of your players, or your offensive coordinator, your head coach, your owner, it's okay for me to say it.
Exactly.
But when I'm on Twitter and I got Bills fans and Colts fans and Cowboys fans, everybody coming at Art Rooney or Mike Tomlin, I get very defensive.
Yep.
If the Steelers are rolling, I'm the first one to say, I'm not buying this, guys.
Yes, exactly. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. You got to play the pocket and be like, look, we're doing good. We're doing all right. You know what I mean? We're one of the best defenses in the league. Okay. We allow the fewest points. Okay.
I got to say, Micah Parsons is a fucking dude.
He's a fucking animal, dude. Micah Parsons.
He is a dude.
Diggs is doing great. He did much better last year, obviously, but this year Diggs is putting in work too. The defensive line is on point right now. And after losing, Zach Martin and Doug Free, and it was real bleak. It was real fucking bleak.
It was very bleak.
We spent the last 3 years building up the defense, and this year we're getting our ROI. Those that don't know, that's return on investment, and it's finally happening for us.
And the offensive line is starting to come together. Finally,
and that's another thing. So. That is a lot. We've gotten out of the groove a lot, and with Dak back, it was kind of shaky. Go ahead.
I think that there's something to that, though. I think that was the turnaround, because what happened was Cooper Rush went in there, and they ran a very, very vanilla, generic offense, and he was very successful in it. And I think Dak, as well as the powers that be, noticed this and said, let's just keep this.
Let's keep this. Yeah. It's different. It's such a different play style. It's a much different play style. And then now that Dak's back, you could tell through a lot of miscatches, a couple interceptions. You know what I mean?
New England Patriots won a lot of games on vanilla offenses.
It works, dude.
A lot of Super Bowls.
Yep. Yeah. No shit. So I want to give the flowers to the Eagles. All right. I fucking hate the Eagles. I can't fucking stand them. I hate everything about them. But real recognizes real. And they are absolutely murdering this year. They are fucking murdering this year. And a lot of people say they have the easiest schedule of anybody in the NFL. I don't think that's true, but they definitely have one of the easiest for sure. But that's not taken away the kind of work that they've been able to put together this year. Outstanding. When we face them, I'm not going to lie. And it's not just Cowboy fan shit. I thought we weren't going to have a big problem with them. I really didn't, because I thought for that week, they're actually facing competition. that's on par with them. And we utterly failed, utterly failed. And it was that game that I was like, they're fucking for real and they're on a fucking tear right now. So I want to give the flowers to the Philadelphia Eagles.
And I want to take a little credit here too, because as you know, I've been on the Eagles here for a couple of years since they got Jalen Hurts and
Yeah.
Devontae and um they got AJ Brown now
Brown. Yep.
and Miles Sanders. I mean, everybody, that defensive line is ridiculous.
Yeah.
They
We
are
are.
so fucking good and they
Mhm.
are playing so tight right now. Now we got to keep this real though. And as much as you know, I appreciate you saying what you say about the Eagles. Um, we have an Eagles fan that supports this channel quite a bit too.
Mhm.
And and as much as I appreciate all of this, I've been around too long now. I've seen too many seasons of NFL football, and we know for a fact that this is not going to shake out the way that it is right now.
Yes.
It never does. But with that said, I could see so easily the Eagles and the Cowboys in either the, well, it's possible it could be the AF or NFC championship game, but not
Yeah.
likely because of the division thing.
Right. Wild card situation.
But it could be, wow,
Yep.
some serious magnitude of football, man.
Yeah. This is
Because
turning
I'd
out
love
to
to
be a
see
very good
those
year.
two go head to
Yeah.
head in the playoffs.
Yep. I think
Wow.
what made this year worth watching for a lot of teams is the amount of shakeups that we've had. And just
Mm.
recently, 2 days ago, we just had so many trades.
The trades.
The,
Yeah.
the shakeups that we're having in the NFL makes you want to watch a lot of other teams to see those players on that team. And
And
a big
sticking.
thing for me, go
Oh, I'm
ahead.
sorry. No, go ahead. Finish. I'm sorry.
A big thing for me was the Broncos this year. You know what I mean? I'm done. After 2 games, I was like, all right, that was fun, but he has a lot of work to do. Russell Wilson will always be one of my favorites, but it's a rough year for that man.
I've told this to anybody that would listen. I've never thought Russell Wilson was a good quarterback.
I know.
I've been
I
saying
know.
this for
I know.
15 years now.
I
I've
know.
never bought into it, and it's coming to fruition. He was exposed now over the past 2 seasons in Seattle, and now with Denver. It was the Legion of Boom that won that Super Bowl. It had nothing to do with Russell Wilson.
I don't think it was nothing to do with Russell, but I will say they were a big part of it. All right. They were a big part of it.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes. You
so
were
that
absolutely right.
one more thing though
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
on the NFL, they are in Munich, which is so fucking dope this weekend. Um, they are slaying it. They're taking over the fucking world.
Yeah.
Sorry about it, Europe, but soccer is not going
They're going to
to
have to move over. Yeah.
outlast the NFL.
You
It's
know how
just
big it's
not going
getting
to
in London
happen.
now? You know how
Excuse me,
huge it's getting in London
football.
now? Yeah, football. It's getting huge in London now.
Oh,
It's
that's
getting
what I'm getting at.
huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
If you remember, 5 years ago, we started with one game, and it was the Jaguars, right? That's their team. Their
that's their
team is the
team, right?
Jacksonville Jaguars
Right.
because they've been there the most,
Mhm.
right? And it's cool. Out of all the teams, I think the Jaguars has the most different set of colors. It's a different kind of scheme, and
Teal,
they
right.
like that a lot.
Yeah.
They get behind that a lot.
Mhm.
And now this year we had 4 or 5 games, I think, in London. It's getting more and more. We're getting that, and I don't know if you've seen the advertisements in London. They had this thing, their newspaper, big American football, and then really small football. We are gonna take over. You just
It's
watch.
taking over the world, man.
It is. It is.
Sorry about it.
But this is one hell of a year. It's a great year
Yeah.
to watch for a lot of teams.
Twice in London, and they're in Munich, and they're doing another one.
Yeah, they're gonna do one more. They got one more game.
Spain or something. I forget
yes,
where.
they're
maybe it's Mexico again. I don't know.
Thought it was Spain. I thought it was Spain.
It could be Spain. But yeah, I mean, this is just, and now there is some serious talks. And I forgot, we would be remiss if we didn't mention this. You might not even be aware of this because it just happened today. Daniel Snyder, the owner of the Commanders, is finally getting shoved out. He and his company have sought through Bank of America, I think it is, to find a new owner.
Okay.
Thank God for women on that one. That dude is the biggest scumbag in the NFL, and it's disgusting some of the things that I've heard.
This is the Commander's owner? I know nothing about this. I
Oh
am
yeah,
fucking
it's a
clueless,
thing.
dog.
Yeah,
I am
he's
fucking
getting
clueless.
shoved out. He's getting
Wow.
shoved out. Jim Irsay, the owner of the Colts, he's been leading the charge on that.
Wow.
Your boss,
Jerry. Yep.
Big Jerry, at the owner's meeting, apparently said to him at one moment, he said, "Don't fuck with me." And
Oh,
he
is that
said,
who he said it
"Excuse
to?
me." Yeah. And he said, "Don't mess with me."
Yeah.
But, you know, he wore out his welcome, and it's given the entire NFL a black eye.
Yeah.
And it's unacceptable behavior. How in this day and age do we find out he's video recording cheerleaders and taking pictures of
What?
cheerleaders and setting up cheerleaders with players? And
What the
it was so fucking disgusting, man. It was so fucking disgusting. I couldn't, man. Look, read into it. You'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so now we're going to transition. This is what I love about this channel is that before we transition to a new topic, Dirty likes to absolutely depress us right before we move on. So
Every
great
time it does
segue.
happen,
Great
doesn't it?
segue. It does a lot. It does a lot.
It does
Great
happen.
segue. Here we go, guys.
Sorry.
MMA, UFC 280. Let's talk about the last 3 or 4 fights. First of all, I want to make something known. Okay. This is something that me and Dirty have both been saying for a long time now. Beneil Dariush is going to be like a future champion. This motherfucker has all the skills required to be at that level. His fight against
100%.
Gamrot, amazing fucking fight and a hard fight. This was a real test. Gamrot is a fucking animal, and it's a bad matchup for Beneil. A really bad matchup for Beneil. He weathered through the storm like a fucking champion. I was so proud of him that night. And I just want to say, so happy for Beneil Dariush. Of course, he's not going to get that #1 contender spot. He's going to have to work a little bit harder, as some of the greats that don't get the shine do, a la Leon Edwards and so on and so forth, Brandon Moreno and so on and so forth. Petr Yan versus Sugar Sean O'Malley. I find it very tough that many people outside of this room will say that Sean O'Malley won that fight. I'll leave it at that. I will say one thing I was happy about was at the end of the fight when they were interviewing Sean, you know that he didn't think he won that fight. And his usual,
he was looking around like
his usual brash and confident, cocky self gone. What we saw was Sean. That was not the Sugar Show. We saw Sean. He was like, "Oh man, I don't know. I know he cracked me pretty hard. It was the first time I felt like, really hurt. I'll have to watch it back." Not, "Oh, I definitely did enough." No. I'll have to watch it back. When you hear a fighter say, "I'll have to watch it back," in their heart of hearts, they're thinking, how the fuck did I win this fight?
Right.
And what really pushes it out for me, of course, and I said this to my brother, watch tomorrow on Twitter, he's going to be like, definitely won that fight. And that's exactly what he did. Definitely won that fight. You had 30 more significant strikes than Petr Yan. I will give you that. But you got taken down 6 fucking times and had over 10 minutes of control time with him on top of you. You cannot fucking tell me that you won that fight, Sugar Sean O'Malley, and I will leave it at that. Do you have any thoughts, D?
Nothing.
All right, let's move on. We had a very weird fight. Aljamain Sterling, TJ Dillashaw. A lot of people are pissed off at TJ because obviously this was an injury that had he let them know ahead of time, somebody else could have gone in and had that opportunity to face Aljamain. It was very obvious that shoulder was not okay for any kind of fight. He got it popped out during the first fucking takedown, the first 40 seconds of the fight. We saw it immediately. I started thinking Corey Sandhagen because of how his fucking knee blew out the first 45 seconds. And I was like, okay, maybe he could still do it because the ref's not stopping it. And he got it popped in after the first round. He's a fucking beast. All right. This man is an animal, but it
Listen,
goes to show.
let me stop with one for 1 second. This has never happened to me before. Okay. It happened to my finger. My finger popped out and I had to put it back in. I'm going to tell you something. That is so fucking painful. I cannot imagine what it's like on your fucking shoulder.
Oh my God. And the fact that and it popped out 2 or 3 times, and the 2 or 3 times he actually just went and it went back.
Popped in. Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
The one time you could literally see it pop.
It's hanging. And then he does this, and then it goes, and then he just does this. And he's like, all right.
Did you see the Mojahid Fidia thing?
Yes, of course I did. And now we're forever gonna see TJ. And I just saw the one today about him bullying for the pound for pound. That was so great. It was so fucking great. Aljamain Sterling, look, guys, he is the real
deal. I'm sorry, and I'm hijacking this whole fucking thing here, but if you haven't seen it, go search for it on Twitter. It's probably on Instagram, YouTube. There's a video of Dean Thomas, who we both love Dean Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
But he dressed up as Herb Dean. But so he was Herb Dean, but it was DIN.
Yeah.
And he's walking around. He's in the cage or the octagon.
And he had his motions perfect.
Oh, yes. He's doing that slow stroll around just like Herb does. And he's at one point he's on his cell phone.
And then another guy comes in and jumps the other dude. It's a 2-on-1, and he's on the couch eating popcorn. Because Herb is known for not stopping a fight, no matter fucking what. Yep. The guy will be knocked out cold, and then Herb will finally look and be like, all right, yep, done. You know what I mean? That's Herb Dean. I loved it. Herb Dean, perfect costume. Dean Thomas, fucking amazing, man. Dean Thomas is amazing. No. But yes, look, Aljamain Sterling is the real deal. All right. He is the real deal. It's unfortunate that got his.
I agree.
It's unfortunate that he got his belt the way he did, initially, and then all the shit that he talked afterwards.
And guess who that was?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Another screwed over fighter.
Yep.
If I'm Piotr Jan, I'm so fucking frustrated.
Well, his tweet, he just said, fuck the judges.
Yeah.
He just said, fuck the judges.
Yeah.
That was,
and that's all he had to say. Retweets, man.
That's all he had to say. Fuck the judges. You know what I mean? To me, I guess I don't know, man. I like Aljamain Sterling before he got the belt. And then now that he has the belt, I just don't fuck with him.
Same here.
I just don't fuck with him. Yeah. Oh, man.
Ever since, it was was it Dillashaw?
Right? It was go ahead. Which Dillashaw and Cody too?
No. Aljamain. Who was it that the whole thing started, and that's when you and I started like, fuck this guy.
I think it was it right after he had gotten the belt and just started floating it around.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. Because he didn't take it well. Because during the fight, he was like, I don't want this. I'm not a real champ. And then that same night, he's taking pictures with the belt. He's celebrating.
What's his name's kitchen and everything. Yes. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
That's exactly. That's when we're like,
fuck you.
Yep.
If you want to hang on to the belt, cool. I get it.
Yep.
It's legally it's your belt and you want it, but I wouldn't. I mean, you can't go around on a tour with it, man.
Nope. And this motherfucker is now saying that he's not coming back until June of 2023. He wants to hold on to this belt as long as he possibly
Dana will never let that happen.
So there's gonna be an interim champion for sure. All right. Charlie Olives, Islam Makhachev. I don't have much to say on this.
Nothing to say.
It pretty much went down the way a lot of people thought it was going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
I will say there were a couple people, be included, that were a little surprised at Charles's ground game against Islam. He did Charlie. He threw up submission attempts at, like he usually does, but there are a lot of mistakes that he was making on the ground that he doesn't usually make. And I'm not going to give that to Islam. I refuse to. I don't think that Islam was more dominant on the ground because his skills were better. I think that Charles didn't
Stay
do
true, brother.
what he knew he could do. You know what I mean? And
Good
that's
for
really
you.
how I felt. You know what I mean? I don't think that he was at his max potential. And I think that 100% Charlie Oz versus Islam, Charles wins 9 times out of 10. It was a rough night, and it was very weird for me to see Charles that way on the ground. It was not like Charles Oliveira that we've seen in the last fucking 15 of his fights. So I don't know. I don't know if there's something that kind of happened in the background, but there were a lot of, I don't even want to call them small mistakes because it led to him losing. There was a lot of mistakes that he made on the ground, attempting heel hooks and, you know what I mean, holding him grappling to the ground to try and get a stand up. What are you doing? You
Right.
know what you are to do. You know the transitions to do. He didn't even get a lockdown once on Islam, which is his bread and butter, what he usually does to transition to the back, to transition. This man is so lethal on the ground. I was thoroughly disappointed with how he handled Islam. And I refuse to say that Islam is that much better than Charles on the ground. Don't believe it. That's what I have to
I
say.
find it very strange when you see fighter after fighter that fights one of Khabib's guys. Every time something weird happens in the fight, they win by their opponent not doing what they normally do, or there is a weird dynamic there.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
How he lost to how he usually wins, right?
Exactly.
Like that's exactly what happened. And the fact that Islam didn't even have it fully locked in made me even more upset.
Right.
At Charles. And I was hoping that at the post-fight press conference he would say, "Oh, this was going
I've
on
been
during my
dealing with
camp,
this. Right.
and I
Yeah.
actually have an injury on
Right.
my shoulder, neck, leg, whatever it is." None of that. He's like, you know what? I'm going to be back. And who knows? Maybe there was something and he just doesn't want to disclose it. Maybe, maybe not. It was not his day, and that was not the Charles Oliveira that we've seen in his last 15 fucking fights. That was not him.
Agreed.
Islam is fantastic. He is amazing. He is one of the best. I think he's top 5 in the division. And the UFC is doing everything they can, along with Khabib, muscling to get him to be pound for pound. It makes no motherfucking sense for him to fight Alexander Volkanovski other than to give Islam the pound for pound ranking. There is so many killers waiting in the 155-pound division. There is no reason why he should take a challenge from somebody coming up. It makes zero sense to me other than the UFC building up Islam's portfolio to be the next Khabib, to get those pay-per-view numbers that Khabib did. Because now we can say maybe he's better than Khabib because his striking is obviously better than Khabib. You know what I mean? That was one thing that we've been saying for years, and it's very true. His striking is really, really good. And you pair that with the ground game, it's dangerous. Everybody has a way to be beaten. And it wasn't implemented on Saturday night like I knew that it could have been. And I was very disappointed in that performance. I'm happy that Islam got the belt. I think that at some point he was going to be champion either way. I just think that the UFC is pushing him, a little bit faster, right? Because, he got the belt, I think, 2 fights quicker than Khabib did. And Khabib was grinding, you know what I mean? Begging for that belt. You know what I mean? By the time they finally gave it to him. So that's where I'm at. I don't like that. I understand it's business. I get it. And I'm usually the guy, I'm a yes man when it comes to the UFC, like business, sure. Because it makes sense. It grows the brand and it gets more people interested in watching it. That's what it's all about, right? But when you get to this point where you start actually you're depreciating.
It's growing it in Russia.
Oh shit, dude. No shit.
And it's not, I don't know what it's doing here.
Well, we love our Russians, which is crazy because we don't, but we love our Russian fighters. We love our Russian fighters here. And that, I mean, I don't have much to say other than I don't like that Alexander Volkanovski is going to be moving up. It's not a good fight for Alexander.
Yeah. I don't get that.
It's a payday
He's
for Alex
already a
for sure.
fire plug, you
Yeah.
know?
And he's like undefeated in his, like Alexander being the pound for pound. Why do you want to take that star
I
from
don't,
him? Why take that from him?
right.
He's on his own run. He's doing amazing he's the greatest featherweight right now. Why are you going to do that? That makes no sense other
But that's,
than to make dollars.
but he's already maxed out on his size. I mean, how much wider can he get? He's not
Well,
going to grow tall.
no,
He's
but
a fire plug.
well,
I
let's
mean,
remember though, Dirty, this man used to be 215
no,
pounds
I
rugby.
understand that, but he didn't move like he does
Right.
at
Okay.
that
Yes.
weight.
Yes. I'll give you that. Yes. 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 I understand. I understand. It's not a good fight for Alex at all. In no
Yeah,
world is this a good fight. They're using the submission attempt from T City as a way to be like, if anybody can do it, it's Alex. And
right.
it's like, no, jujitsu and wrestling are two very different things.
Remarkably different.
Very different things. And it's one of the worst matchups that Alex could have. I don't think it really diminishes Alex too, though, and he gets a bag. So it's a win-win for Alex. It's a win-win for the UFC. It's a win-win for Islam. It's a lose-lose for the 145 and the 155-pound division. Literally almost 100 fighters. It's a lose-lose. And that's what fucking sucks. That's the sucky fucking part of it. So many great talent ready to take that. And this is why I'm pissed off, because it's Benil. Benil deserves that shot. Benil deserves that shot, but we're not going to give it to
100%.
Benil. We're not giving it to Benil. We're going to go give it to another champion that's not even in this division. And that's only because Connor's not here right now. So he's not going to fight for the 155. Okay.
By the
Dustin
way,
is already booked up with
holy
Chandler.
shit.
So what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Speaking of fire plug,
my man
my
is a
God, man.
heavyweight beast right now. And for all you motherfuckers saying he's taking PEDs, fuck you. He's always been clean 100%. This man is going off of 2 years with the leg injury. What the fuck else is he going to do? He has money, and he loves to grind. So he's going to build his fucking body up. That's all him, baby. That's all him. That's it.
Right on.
Fucking best fighter in the world. All right, here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
You're such a stan.
Dude, you know I am. You know, you fucking know I am. Let's talk about Hamzat.
Oh.
Something weird happened with Hamzat.
Again? Oh, something weird with Khabib happened again? Somebody looks like they're a hostage again?
So let's backtrack.
What the fuck, man? Who does this guy think he fucking is, man?
The Chechen dictator was on a live Instagram live about a year and a half ago. And in that live, the dictator was talking about how Hamzat would smash Khabib. And in the comment section, Hamzat joined and said, "We will smash him, brother." Right? Okay. And then also another comment from Khabib's cousin, Amar, I don't know his name. Okay. Umar something. All right. He commented, "Watch what you're saying about Khabib." Right? That's where that started. They have had no other point of contact other than that. Okay. They finally see each other here at 280, and he goes to talk with him. Hamzat is being cordial. Hamzat is putting out his hand to greet him. He put out his hand and shook him, and then he brought Hamzat in and said something to the effect of, "You need to talk to me with more respect."
Mm-hmm.
Hamzat, being Hamzat, says, "I do what I want." And he says, "No, not with me." So he got a smack. And that's what happens. You get smacked. You talk shit, you get smacked. What usually doesn't happen is you have an entire fucking mafia there to bring the two parties together to be like, "No, this was just a misunderstanding. We're all good." Khabib gets on and does a fucking 2-minute video with him, his family, and Hamzat sitting awkwardly like this.
Like a fucking prisoner.
He doesn't want to be there. He's not talking. Khabib's cousin is not talking. I think he said one word, misunderstanding.
Yeah.
And then Khabib is just doing the rest of the talking. That was 100% political. And if there's one thing, I don't want to get too political, but they do this. All right. Russia loves to do this. They like to throw that propaganda in your face and tell you this wine is water, even though it's red. That's water because I said so. And everybody else here, we all say so. So that's what that is.
Right.
Fuck that. Fuck that.
We don't operate like that.
Nope.
we're free human beings.
Yep.
That's what we are.
I feel bad for Hamzat, but also like, what the fuck, dude? You know what I mean?
Right. I mean,
I
I'm
understand the
with you.
position he
I
in. It's a little
understand
delicate, right?
there's probably way more layers to this
Than we even know.
than we
You're
can even comprehend
right.
because of the Russian mob and Khabib's ties to all of that and
Yep.
all of that. But at the end of the day, Kamzat always stays true to himself. He always has ever
Yep.
since he's came into this. I cannot tell you how disappointed I am that we haven't heard anything subsequent. I
Right.
understand not doing it there,
Right.
but
Not speaking out afterwards, not
yeah,
talking about it.
because you
Not
just got manhandled.
it was a yeah, you just
A
got
verbal
like
manhandling is what it
yeah,
was in
yeah.
front of cameras.
Yep. Burn the whole world.
And
And
and him and Darren Till are like brothers.
yeah.
And now Khabib has been trying to drive a wedge in between them
Yep.
and saying, "Hey, he's not Islam. You can't
Yep.
be friends with him." Well,
Yep.
that's fucked up.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is so fucked up.
Yeah. 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 That's you need more of your people around you, blah blah blah. Like, no, dude. I'm a fucking free man. I'm gonna do what the fuck I
I'm a
want to fucking
free
do.
human being on planet
Like,
Earth.
what the fuck, dude? Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. All right. Before we leave here, two little things. Alexei Oleinik, man, he's out of the UFC.
Yeah.
Man, fuck, dude. He lost four of his
OG,
last
man.
five.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I want to see him in some grappling competitions. I don't even. I
That would be
don't go
good.
to another promotion. Let's see some.
The
I want to see him go to
yeah,
the
Chaels
underground
thing. Yeah.
submission underground. Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want him on that. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
that
see.
would
Let's
be
see him
good.
on that. Bobby Green. Bobby Green tested positive for banned
Yeah.
substances, but it was
Yeah.
I think it's a tainted supplement issue. I don't believe that he was taking anything that he shouldn't.
He doesn't look like he's the kind of guy that's doing that
I think it
based on
gave
his
him
body.
a 9 or 12 month suspension, and UFC cut him, so he's gone. Bobby Green
Yeah.
is also gone from the UFC. I thought that was big news. I'm like, wow, Bobby
Well,
Green?
it is because it seems to me there's more to that story as well because that just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Dana is so listen, we love Uncle Dana, but
Yeah.
he can be terribly
Oh,
inconsistent, man.
oh yeah. Oh, he is the definition of inconsistency.
Yeah.
He says one thing, and a year later, 6 months later, 2 days later,
2 days
it's
later.
completely
Yeah,
different.
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, people missing weight. Well, it's good for one person and the other person gets booted.
Yep.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's yeah. All right. Before we leave you guys, I have a couple things in music. Obviously, first and foremost, for those of you that don't know, I don't know how you don't know. Takeoff has passed away. Shit, man. Yesterday. It happened yesterday.
Terrible story.
Halloween, having a party. They go to a bowling alley in Houston. It's a little after midnight. They have a dice game. Argument ensues, and shots are fired. He was shot multiple times. There's a video. Don't watch the video. There's a video of Quavo, over him asking for help, and it's bad.
Heartbreaking.
It's fucking heartbreaking. For those of you who don't know about the Migos, Takeoff was the youngest of the three. They're all family. Quavo is his uncle. And they were actually coming out with an album. Their single just dropped 3 days ago, I believe. And they had a joint album together called Young and Unk, I believe. Fuck, man. I'm so sick of this shit happening, man. It's over bullshit. It's over bullshit, man. And this dude is so fucking talented. And man, I'm so sick of seeing it,
Yeah. Yeah. It's fucked up because
Yeah.
you don't stop to think about when you wake up one day that this is your last day.
Yeah.
And when somebody else comes along and takes that day from you and the rest of the days following, there's just no way to wrap your head around it. And it's senseless. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking. and um, just nothing but thoughts and prayers to his family and all of the fans and everybody mourning right now, because it is a horrible story.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So I just wish that this shit would stop, man. Violence, over the smallest shit, dude. It's not worth it. It's not worth it for anyone. It's not worth it for you for getting caught. It's not worth it for the family and the man's life you took. It's fucking sad, and we all have to live with the fallout, and his family has to live without him now for the rest of their life. And before he was even 30 years old. So, I just wish this shit would stop. That's all.
Yeah.
So that was it. That's all we had this week, ladies and gentlemen. I will not be on next week.
Speaking of leaving on a downer.
Oh, man, that's what we do. That's what we do, Dirty. That's what we fucking do. Oh, you know what? This is how I will leave it. Ladies and gentlemen, DZAN, yours truly, is coming out with an album. The Art of Stillness Side A will be releasing by the time you're watching this.
Wow.
November 4th. It drops everywhere, so go check it out anywhere you stream music. Go check that shit out. Dirty. It's very palatable for Dirty because it's only 11 tracks, so he doesn't have to, you know what I mean, like sit down too long. Oh God, my back. You know what I mean? It's thank you guys so much for watching us. We will be back.
Nope.
Oh,
not next week.
Not next week. I was just gonna say that.
DZAN can't be here next week, but we might have something up there for you, Annie. We'll see. If I get time, I'll get something up there too. But we'll definitely try to get back the following week after that. The
following week we will be on.
And then we might have something to discuss with you guys. So stay tuned.
Yep. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Peace.